Hey friends, Andrew here, hope you're all doing well. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for two things. Number one, building an e-commerce store, and number two, learning digital marketing. And those two skills alone, with the right timing, allowed me to grow from a 0 to a 6-figure Shopify store while working full time. And that store alone changed the trajectory of my professional career, allowing me to quit my job and chase a few dreams. Now I've been fortunate enough to pivot into a branded product and also partner up with others on other e-commerce stores. It has provided a steady stream of income and only takes about, now at this rate, 10 hours a week to maintain and run. So it gives me time in the day to spend on other passions like this YouTube channel, for example. But in this video, let's play roleplay and say I had nothing to my name and I were to start all over again. What would I do to build a successful Shopify store and e-commerce business? This video is going to help those of you who want to start and grow an e-commerce business from scratch. So let's get into it. By the way, if you're planning to build your e-commerce business, I want you to leave a comment down below and let me know what your plans are. I'd love to hear them. There's usually a few paths you can take building your own online e-commerce store. The most common paths you'll see include, number one, the distributor model, the private label model, the bespoke model, and of course the dropshipping model. Now, the distributor model, this is where you build relationships with manufacturers and sell their products to your customers. A large scale example of this is ASOS, an online fashion retailer. They purchase products in bulk from manufacturers like Nike and Tommy Hilfiger and then sell directly to the customer. Then you have the private label product. This is where you take an existing product that's being manufactured in bulk and you add your logo to it or even make minor custom adjustments to the product. ASOS is actually another example of this with their in-house ASOS design branded clothing. Then, of course, you have bespoke products when you work with a factory or factories to create a brand new product from scratch. This is by far the most difficult road to take, but it can be extremely lucrative if you have a winning product idea. And then finally, you have dropshipping, working with widely available suppliers to sell their products. The difference is shipping, storage, and logistics of the product is completely managed by the supplier. So only if a customer purchases a product from you do you then pay wholesale for each item, and it then gets shipped out from the factory by the supplier directly to your customer. When building any type of business though, we usually have to consider these three things: capital, time, and expertise. And so the place I would start as a beginner, if I had not much at all to my name, I'd still pick a dropshipping store on Shopify as a foundation model. And then I'd quickly pivot though. And I'll tell you why I think it remains the best place to start as a beginner. Dropshipping is what I personally started with years ago, but there are some big problems with it. And actually, let's address the elephant in the room first. Dropshipping has been contorted to flaunt a get-rich-fast lifestyle, to sell courses, and it's made to be seen easier than it actually is. So we've seen a lot of people burnt by this, unfortunately, specifically beginners who come in thinking it's far easier than it actually is, expecting to make a ridiculous sum of money within a few days. And then, they become jaded when they find out it's not actually working for them and give up within a few weeks. And although that's the unfortunate side of dropshipping, on the other hand, what you have is a very smart business model that allows beginners to maximize their time and capital to build an e-commerce store with very low barriers to entry. So when I personally started dropshipping, I was only a few years out of uni on a measly salary of $45,000, working pretty long hours in a global advertising agency. That's a pretty small salary for a graduate out of uni, but that's not saying that I wasn't grateful for it. It's just that it was very tight in terms of budget. So, I didn't have that much time either, expertise, nor capital. And I most definitely could not afford to spend my salary building an e-commerce brand from scratch. I was eating mee goreng as every second meal. If you know, mee goreng was the bomb. But my monthly paycheck was going to rent, groceries, bills, and some savings. I only had a few hundred left over. So what mainly stopped me from going with, say, the distributor model or private label products back then was a number of factors. Number one, money or lack of capital. The other reason is I didn't have the risk appetite to take out a big loan under my name to build a business. Sure, I could have borrowed money, but it's difficult to qualify for a business loan in comparison to, say, a home loan, and maxing out credit cards is not a great idea either for most people. If you want to build a bespoke product, it's incredibly expensive. You need to invest into R&D, research and development, hiring talent to build that product out for you, to build out your vision, and let alone the product costs itself. Even private labeling products, you'll need to order in bulk, and it'll run you at least a few $1,000s for a test batch. And once you brand your products, they're yours. And if you can't sell them, well, then that's a whole batch of products in your basement and thousands of dollars down the drain. So based on my risk appetite at the time as a fresh graduate out of uni, it's just not something I wanted to take on when I don't even have proof of concept, and I know it's a risk that the majority of beginners do not want to take on unless you're extremely entrepreneurial. Frankly, the truth is the majority of us are simply not. But that doesn't mean you can't build a lucrative, credible business at a slower pace. So what did I do? That's where dropshipping came in for me. Dropshipping acted like a springboard for me, minimizing risk while allowing me to test different e-commerce products, learn e-commerce in the first place, and generate income on the side while still working full time. So I essentially mitigated a lot of risks. So what I'm going to say is, rather than telling you to build a dropshipping store to turn a quick profit, I implore you to look at it a little differently. And this advice I'm about to give you could possibly be the difference between success and failure. So the truth is, most people don't run a dropshipping store for more than a few years at tops. It's very rare to do so. But that's because successful dropshipping stores are profitable gateways to building out your e-commerce brand. And here's what I mean by that. When you build a dropshipping e-commerce store, you want to aim to get these three things right: proof of concept for your product or niche, data, and supplier relationships. There's no other business model that allow you to validate your products without much money like dropshipping. Because you don't need to commit thousands of dollars, you can very quickly test different products and niches until you find that one that works for you and you gain that proof of concept, whether that's a niche or a product. And then the second point is data. You're building a store and brand, which means day by day, you're growing your customer email list, your store data, and your digital marketing ads, and so on and so forth. The data is extremely valuable. And once you pivot to, say, a custom branded product, you already have all the data you can leverage to sell to. And then of course, you have your supplier relations. If you have a product in mind you want to create and sell, well, you need a supplier and manufacturer to create that product for you, right? But what many beginners don't realize is suppliers and manufacturers don't just work with anybody. If you approach them today with zero credentials, asking them to build let's say a new shoe for you, they're going to either laugh or ignore us. Remember, they're investing too. They're investing into you by taking a chance by building this product for you. They're using their materials, expenses, and time. And so they want to know your experience. They want to work with successful businesses, and understandably so. And that's why dropshipping works as that perfect springboard to build that credibility and work with suppliers to build a relationship so you have more contacts in the industry and you build up your entrepreneurial resume. Most of all, it's the most convenient way to learn e-commerce and digital marketing, like I kind of touched on. If you fail and your store is a flop, no problem. It's such a low capital business model. There's hardly any risk or investment you've put into it, minus of course your time. And on the flip side, if you succeed, it's an amazing business model to run on the side and automate, simply because half the business is being run by the supplier themselves. All you need to focus on is the marketing, which then can be automated, and the operations and customer service, which can also be automated or outsourced. I ran my dropshipping store absolutely no problems at all while working a pretty demanding job as a digital marketing manager. Thankfully though, that job was pretty relevant and I was able to learn during the day-to-day and apply it to my store as well. If you don't work a relevant job, well, you're learning a brand new skill, digital marketing and e-commerce, both becoming increasingly more in demand and lucrative. Here are the key lessons for you. If you're new to business and e-commerce, don't have a lot of upfront capital and you're time poor, if you're any of these and you're looking to build an e-commerce business, I would start with dropshipping and pivot pretty quickly to expand it by building a branding your products and scaling your business operations. The decision to start and build it into something bigger than yourself could change the trajectory of your life for the better, like it has for me. All you have to do is make an informed decision and just start. I've actually shared a free full hour dropshipping course here on YouTube, so just about anyone can start building an e-commerce store from scratch. Feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link to it on screen somewhere here and also down in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video and it's given you some sort of perspective on starting an e-commerce business, a rapidly growing business model that has just skyrocketed in recent times. But hey, I might be biased, but honestly, I think it is a great business model to start and learn right now today. I'll leave on screen here other useful videos for you to check out. If this video has helped you out, be sure to like it and subscribe it. Like it and subscribe to this channel. It's always much appreciated. And feel free to follow me on Instagram where I post up more e-commerce tidbits and other random life things if you want to follow. And as always, thank you for watching.